So another thing that we're going to try this quarter is instead of having our tables set up like this, all the way down the carpet, lots of back-to-back seating, and only like one or two families can sit together, we're actually going to do banquet style and run two long rows all the way up north and south on the carpet. And so we have kind of a center aisle that goes all the way down. And then, of course, they can access from the outside as well. But we're going to butt up two 6-foot tables and then leave a space. Two 6-foot tables and leave a space, and do that down two rows north and south, if you can picture that. And so that's not going to affect you guys as a team much, because you guys are slaving in the kitchen preparing the line. This will be just news for you guys, so that when the men come down, that maybe Glenn is able to give them information to set it up, or maybe Mark does. But that's going to be our new setup, is so that we can get more than one or two families at a table. We can get more like 3 to 4 families kind of carousing around together, and getting more conversation and connection happening that way. And then also be able to have a little better traffic flow by being able to just go straight down the middle instead of weaving through this mess of chairs. Okay. And then out the hub doors, we're wanting to have 2 tents set up, and then do the same thing we did this last family feast, do 4 tables underneath those tents. You know, as the summer hits and the sun is hot, we want to provide some outdoor seating, but we are also going to have to provide some shade. All right, so let's, I'm going to take a seat here and take a look at my notes, and let's just talk through a few more updates that I want to make sure we're all on the same page. So first of all, we want to definitely look to Glenn for any and all decisions, because he is the Potluck team leader, and we are super grateful. And of course, he's the old minor manager, general manager, and he's been at this for a very long time. So do whatever he deems necessary. If it kind of needs to happen in an instant, just go with his flow, okay? And then I'll try to share some of the changes, and we'll put it on his radar and try to get, him working with me and together. Well, I want to add to our drink table. I would like us to, during the summer, add a 3rd drink. I would like to do lemonade. So we'll have ice water with lemon, lemonade, and unsweet tea, okay? And for the unsweet tea, we'll have a little sugar packet bin off to the side, and I'll have to set that up for you guys, and I'll take a picture of it and show you where it's going to be kept. But if people want sweet tea, they can just make it sweet, but we're going to provide unsweet tea. And then it just simplifies, like, picking up at the drink table too. Like, you can just see it's tea, it's lemonade, it's water, okay? I would also like us to add that ice bucket at the front of the line. So left to right, big ice bucket with the scoop, and then again, water, lemonade, tea, and having the little labels that we use for the coffee stations, where it says regular, decaf, and hot water. Doing the same thing with our beverages. So writing on there, the same, what it is. Also want to make sure that we put a black tablecloth on both of those tables to just kind of elevate our look just a little bit, so that it looks a little more inviting. So plan on putting 2 tablecloths, one on the dessert table and one on the drink table, before you start setting everything up. Okay. I mentioned that our new outdoor seating is going to be 4 tables out there, 4 to 6, whatever we can get out there under 2 tents. So whoever is giving direction can help get those set up. I mentioned that we're starting to run our tables banquet style, 2 6-foot tables
to end, and then that way we can get some end chairs on those, and then starting another group of 6, 2 6-foot tables. And so we're just going to see how that works. We may have to get creative with that setup, but running 2 rows north and south, enabling people to have a center row to be able to walk down. And then I mentioned to you the plasticware update, that we're not going to do individual colors and sizes of forks, knives, and spoons. We're ordering prepackaged plasticware so that they're the same for everything, and it just simplifies the grab and go. And it also includes salt and pepper, which we often get asked if we have. I also want to ask if you would label everything. And so as people come, this is kind of fun. We used to do this, and I just haven't had the wherewithal to pull it together just yet. But if it's possible, and if it's not, no biggie, no sweat. But if it's possible, as people drop things off, if we can have them write the name of their dish and their name under it, and then we tape that to the counter so that as people are coming through, there's no question what it is or who made it, which bogs the line down, and it makes y'all, as the potluck team, the family feast team, it makes y'all have to ask and answer a million questions, right? What is that? What's in it? So if it says, Natalie Jackson chicken enchiladas, sour cream chicken enchiladas. It also makes it kind of fun too, because then when someone brings something kind of unique, like a cannolis, or I think Natalie Jackson brought some kind of special, I can't remember what it was now, but it was really cool. And it kind of makes everybody go to that person and go, hey, I want that recipe. So it kind of also builds connection as the family, that we get to know who's the cooks in the house, and it generates conversation because we ask each other for recipes and things. So I wanted to ask if you guys would label things as people come. Just say, hey, write and we'll have some little slips of paper for you guys, or I may order some more of those stand-up little chalkboard labels that we're going to use for the beverage station. And then just have them write what it is and their name right underneath it. And then when you go to display it out on the line, just keep those 2 things together, okay? All right, and then this also is helpful because then when you come to cleanup, you don't have to wonder, okay, whose dish is this? And it goes back to the dishwasher, and then people get separated from their dishes. They're all labeled as you go. All right, when you're dealing with the sinks, I mentioned to you the left sink is for the dirty stuff, the middle sink is for hand washing, and the last sink is for rinsing, okay? And then, of course, we have the drying racks. It's very, 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 very important that you do not put any scraps of food at all in any of the 3 sinks. We do not have a disposal of any kind. And so make sure that you use that trash can that I showed you earlier that's provided right by the sink, okay? Scrape everything as much as you can off into that trash can before you put it in the sinks. Our plumbing is super sensitive, and we have had annual backups, and they are quite the chore for Mark to clear out. So help us out. Help us to get as much food scraped off as you can, okay? We do have food scrapers on the shelf there as you're next to the left sink, okay? So use that. Take advantage of those. All right, and then we're going to ask that you go ahead and leave everything in the dishwasher. Don't feel like you have to wait for it to run a cycle. For those of you who are on the cleanup team, go ahead and just put as much small stuff in there as you can that is not going home with someone else, right? So this is stuff that, like serving utensils, things that you know are going to stay here. Leave those in the dishwasher, and I or a friend will put them away midweek, okay? And then the rest of it needs to be hand washed. It does need to be dried, and it does need to be put away, okay? So please take the time to look at all the cabinets, look at all the titles, and put everything away. That way, if someone brought a dish and they're like, where is my dish? At least they can find it in one of the cupboards that coincides with what they brought. So a big bowl or a casserole dish, whatever. Try to give back to individuals their dishes if you can. Okay, the next kind of big thing is that leftover food. We're finding that leftover food is just kind of automatically being saved and put in the double fridge, which seems very frugal, right? But actually what's happening is it's going bad in there, and then it's reeking up the whole kitchen and the fridge. And a lot of it, I think, could just be thrown away. Okay, so use your judgment. If there's not a significant portion to be saved, go ahead and just toss it, okay? The other alternative is to find someone that wants to take it home. You can offer some of those Tupperwares to send home with people. You can also ask Mark and I if we're interested in leftovers. Please do not assume that we want it, because then we're stuck dealing with it, right? And this happens all the time. So bless your pastors by asking if we're interested in what is left over. And if so, then again, you're going to put it in those Tupperwares and then just leave it on the counter, and then I'll take it upstairs so I doesn't get old in the fridge. If you would also plan on anything that is going to stay, like let's say it's ranch dressing or salsa or anything like that, go ahead and slap a piece of scotch tape on it, or excuse me, masking tape, and write the date on it. That way we know exactly when it was used. I know that we can look at expiration dates a lot of times, but we're using some of this stuff kind of over and over again, and we're kind of getting nervous putting it out. So put a label on it. Tell us when was the last time it was used, and that's super helpful, okay? Okay, as far as continuing the cleanup, we do need to have some of you to vacuum the carpet, the big long carpet that is underneath all of us when we're eating, because Faith and Fitness is going to be meeting this summer, and they are meeting the very next day. So can you imagine trying to work out and do push-ups and whatever on pieces of food? Okay, so please help us with that. And then we do need to run a mop in on the hardwood floors for the same reason. In the summer, or really anytime, the hub parking lot has a lot of dust that people bring in on their shoes, and it just shows everywhere. So we have a new mop system that's super easy. You literally just spray the thief spray on the floor, and then you use this easy mop system. I'll let you take a look here in a minute, and it just picks it up beautifully. No streaks, and it shines. If you would also plan on checking the bathrooms, usually the trash is overflowing at this point. So going ahead and taking the little trashes out. The extra little trash bags are in that cleaning area that I showed you by the dishwasher. Okay, so you can put some more in there. All right, if you see that any supplies whatsoever are getting low, please, please, please hop on the Potluck team chat and let me know as soon as possible. That is the best way to let me know. Do not PM me. Go ahead and put it on the Potluck team chat, because it helps me to organize everything, ordering and all the thoughts. So if we're getting low on anything, let me know on the Potluck team chat so that I have time to order. I cannot tell you how many times I've had to send somebody the day of to go get last minute things. Ice, plates, cups, napkins. So please help us to not be in last minute mode. If you're seeing anything low anytime, please make sure I know on the Potluck team chat, okay? All right. It goes without saying, I'm sure, but please, please, anytime you're dealing with food, please wear serving gloves. All right, the last thing that I have is just the whole heart of hospitality, and that is to please wear your smile. It's a fast paced space that your guys are working in, it's a tight space at that. There's a lot of come and go. There's people who want to stand in the way while you're trying to work and they're trying to chit chat and all the things. And so just continue to wear your smile and just keep in mind, if Jesus were among us, if he came to our family feast, how would you serve, right? And he is. He's with us, isn't he? Also, want to ask you to speak up. Glenn is really good at this. On the line, when you're trying to tell people anything, asking anything, would you like some of this? Would you like some of that? If they're asking you what it is, hopefully the labels will kind of ward off some of those questions. But if you can, go ahead and speak up. There's a lot of noise in the room, especially with the music, and the more people we have, the more sound there is. So please speak up to talk to people. And then I just want to remind us as I close our training today of our mission, and specifically our mission with you guys, with the family feast. You have a very precious role here in that you are literally helping connections to happen. And there's a lot of reasons that people come to church, but there's only one reason that people stay at a church, and that is that they feel connection. And so by you guys doing this potluck service and setting up and cleaning up and serving and all the things, you are making connections happen. I was just thinking about this and thinking about 2 potlucks ago. It was really neat. I felt like Holy Spirit had highlighted a certain family who were brand new. They'd only been, I think, 1 or 2 weeks at the time, and highlighted that they should meet this one single gal. And so during service one day, I said, "Hey, I've got someone I want you to meet." I put the two of them together. They clicked from the get-go, and it just so happened that it was Potluck Sunday, and they stood in the line for the entire time and talked. They ate the entire meal together, and then the very next family feast that we had, which was this past Sunday, they were sitting together again and enjoying that connection. And that happened because of you guys. And just the service that you provided, those conversations, they lingered. They were here for a long time for both of those meals. And turns out they have quite a bit in common, and they're making connections outside of church as well. And so the other cool thing besides connections is that people are bringing meaningful dishes that have meaning and value to them from home. And it's sparking conversation, and it's creating this giving heart that we want people to feel and to have. Breaking bread is actually biblical, and there's a lot that happens around the table. And so because of your service, there are hearts being connected, there are thoughts being shared, there's stories being shared, memories being shared. Of course, bellies are getting full and all the different tastes and smells and things, but hearts are getting full too. And it's these kinds of moments that God builds relationship and community, and you never know, just your faithfulness in serving or cleaning, making these connections happen, how long these people will be in connection with each other. I was just talking to a woman this morning who was at our very first church plant, and she was just a precious soul. She actually just found out she has stage 4 cancer and that she has months to live. And we were just beginning to just rehearse some of the beautiful memories of our first church plant, and just all of the times that we shared meals together and we shared Bible study together. And these are relationships that have transcended 2 decades now. And so never underestimate the power of a meal and the power of the conversations that are being had, and the connections stick. So thank you for serving. Thank you for loving. Thank you for serving joyfully with all your heart as unto the Lord, and just making this once a month ministry such a gift to the body here at the Rising. We love you and we appreciate you. Thanks for coming to training, and let us know if you have any questions. Let's move now into some discussion.